What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we've got more movie reactions from a premiere. This is easily my most anticipated movie of the year, and that is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. They just had it premiered in Europe. I believe it was in Paris, and so a lot of people have given their reactions to the film, and I'll be covering that. But before we get into this, go ahead and grab that subscribe button and click that bell. That way you're notified for every single upload, and especially if you like this type of content. We do stuff like this on the channel all the time. We do reactions, reviews, and we just love talking pop culture and movies. But without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and get into these reactions from the European premiere of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. One person says, despite the humor, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is probably the saddest and darkest MCU film, and a wonderfully rounded conclusion to Gunn's trilogy, where everyone in the fight against a mean but rather shallow villain gets their big moment again. Have tissues ready. The next person says, I went in with a preconceived idea to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and James Gunn has managed to surprise me for good. It is darker and has even touches of terror, but it is still very funny and with a lot of personality. Rocket and Nebula excel in a very dignified send-off. Another person says, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is a brilliant end to a brilliant trilogy. It's very funny, emotional, and everyone gets their standout moment. Will Poulter's Warlock is a terrific addition, yet the focus is rightly on telling a satisfying end for the Guardians. Gonna miss him. Someone else says, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is the best of the trilogy, the most moving but also the most serious. The humor is there and goes well, but the tone has changed. The fights are brutal, the VFX is clean, and the AD is cool. Adam Warlock is disappointing otherwise, but 𝙎𝙬𝙆𝙀𝙎, he is great. Another person says, our favorite gang of misfits is back for an ultimate intergalactic adventure that keeps all its promises. A great show, an emotional lift that serves our hearts, a rhythmic soundtrack, and a touch of humor that makes us smile. So from what we're hearing, it seems like the movie is doing a really good job at not only balancing that humor with that seriousness again, but it seems like it really is a conclusion and a satisfying one at that. But let's go ahead and go over a couple more. Someone says, I've been lucky to have seen Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It's like the farewell tour of a band I've loved so much for 10 years. The one last time I was waiting for. Against a backdrop of 90s and origin movie. Touching to the end, the circle is complete. Thank you, Guardians. Another person says, the MCU feels fresher than ever. James Gunn concludes his trilogy with panache in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. A whole film, brutal and elegant at the same time and full of emotions. Very surprising. To say that it should have been done years ago. Someone else says, thanks for everything, James Gunn. A trilogy that ends perfectly with a lot of emotion, a cruel and ruthless antagonist who's really horrible to watch at times, an excellent reel. Too many things to say, just a great moment in the MCU. Someone else says, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 has spectacular action set pieces, is fun, entertaining, and emotional. It is a perfect and beautiful closure for its characters and this saga. And it's the best Marvel movie since Endgame and top 3 in general. Now this is huge praise coming from a lot of people at the premiere, but the general consensus is that this movie is gut-wrenching. It is an emotional ride, but it's also extremely fun and action-packed and doesn't lose kind of that heart and what makes the Guardians family special. Many people on social media are already worrying because Adam Warlock is apparently underwhelming due to his limited screen time, and to that I say, this isn't his movie. You know, this is the conclusion of a family that is one of the pillars in the MCU, and of course they're gonna be the focus. Adam Warlock is still in this movie, and we're gonna get to see the birth of him and his growth and how he starts out. But this is just his first appearance, and there's gonna be a ton of more stories to tell with his character to not only help him grow, but in the future to give him more spotlight. So I don't see that as a huge deal breaker for me. I am excited to see Adam Warlock, but I wasn't expecting him to be in half of this movie, because this is the conclusion and they are trying to close the chapter on this family that we've grown to love over almost a decade within the MCU. But overall, this is great to hear. But you guys tell me in the comments below what you guys thought about all these reactions. How excited are you for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? The movie comes out very soon, within pretty much the next like week and a half, and I'll be watching it May 3rd at a premiere to see like all three. I can't wait for it. But yeah, there's a ton of like early screenings that they're doing for fans and stuff, so a lot more will be said about this movie come within the next few days leading up to the release. But yeah, if anything comes out, I will definitely cover that, as you guys know. But be sure to place in the comments below your thoughts on these reactions once again, and tell me how excited you are for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Go ahead and hit that like button if you did enjoy this video. It helps the channel out a lot, and make sure you grab that subscribe button if you haven't. But other than that, guys, it's been your boy 𝙎𝙬𝙎𝘎, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one.